Hello, Georgetown. I'm Beverly Enos, and you're watching Spotlight Georgetown. You can find us Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. on your local cable station. This is part of your cable station, so if you'd like to participate, come to the studio, learn how to run equipment, or if you'd like to be interviewed, or you know someone that you think should be interviewed, please let me know. Now, today we're talking to Scott Jones, and many of you will know Scott because you've seen him all over town doing one thing or another. So welcome. It's nice to have you here.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's good to be here.
Now, you live in Georgetown.
I do.
Did you always?
No, I've lived in Georgetown for 16 years now, I think it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Family?
I have my wife, Renee, and we have 5 children. We have a daughter, Rochelle, who's 22, and she's currently sort of touring the country. We have another daughter, Tori, who's 22. We took her in. She needed a place to live. And she just graduated UMass Lowell with a degree in nursing. And she just moved out on her own now and starting her life. Have a 21-year-old son, Ricky, and he's down at the University of Rhode Island studying exercise science. And then my daughter, Heather, and my son, Scotty, who are 15 and 14, are both at the middle school and high school here.
Okay, so you have a lot of ties.
I do, yes, yeah. And actually it was kind of through the kids that I started to get involved in town because they were in Cub Scouts, and I started to do things for Cub Scouts, and then it just sort of grew from there.
A lot of times when you have your own business, it evolves according to what else is going on in your life. And you run a website of town events.
Yeah.
What should people know about that? How do they find you, and what will they find there? Okay,
well, so it's georgetownfun.org.
So Georgetown Fun, F-U-N.
Yes, F-U-N. People say to me all the time, fund? No, it's not like money, it's like having a good time.
Okay, fun.
So it's georgetownfun.org, and it's basically a listing of everything going on in Georgetown as far as I can determine it. And you know, the site's been around for many years now, and it's gotten to the point now where I'm getting emails from people almost every day with events. So we have you know, events listed all the way out through November of this year already on the site.
Wow.
So you go on the site, there's a calendar page with events. There's also a page with photographs from different events that I've worked at. And there is thousands and thousands of photographs. I've helped the school with the Prom Grand March the last couple of years, and there's pictures of every single couple in the Prom Grand March, and you can go download them. There's pictures from when the Red Sox World Series trophy was in town of every single person wanted to have their picture taken with it. And I'm an amateur photographer, and I have a lot of camera equipment, so there's just tons of pictures up there. There's some directories about town, you know, various information, how to get in touch with different organizations, you know, all these different things. And there's no, it's not a commercial site. I don't make any money on it. In fact, it costs me money to have this site. But, you know, the listings are free. Anybody in town having an event, even businesses in town, if you're doing something special, drop us an email. We'll put it up on the site. And we have an email list as well. And we send twice a month emailings to almost 2,000 residents.
Now, for nonprofits, let's say, we have a lot of those in Georgetown, different organizations. That would help them know when to schedule and when not to schedule something so that they're not doing, they're not trying to have fundraisers on the same weekend.
Exactly, yeah. You can go on there and you can look and say, okay, am I going to have a conflict? We actually, a couple days ago, I was talking to the various people involved in the Horribles Parade, and you would think, well, that's, you know, it's like at Halloween, we wouldn't be thinking about it yet. But I actually have a personal conflict on one weekend in October, and then the Donahoe Road Race is already scheduled for a weekend in October. And so we just went on this big, you know, discussion about when are we going to have the Horribles Parade this year so we can actually have everything and not conflict with anything. Because what we like to do is have it on a Saturday, so if it rains, we can move it to Sunday as a rain date. And you know, so one weekend the Donahoe Road Race is on Sunday, so you wouldn't have the rain date. So we actually ended up settling on November 1st. So it's going to be the day after Halloween this year will be the Horribles Parade.
Oh, that'll be different.
Yeah, yeah. Usually it's like the weekend before.
Yeah. Yep. So in the Horribles Parade, for people that don't know, all the kids in town, some parents, some pets.
Yes, yes. Yeah, everybody gets dressed up, the kids, the parents, the pets, and they march in this parade down Main Street through town from the high school to American Legion Park. And then in American Legion Park, there's a contest for the best costumes with all sorts of different categories. And a whole bunch of different organizations come and provide, there's food, there's games, there's all sorts of things going on. And I'm usually DJing it and So we get some music going on, and I've got fog machines and lots of fun stuff going on. It's a really a fun, neat, fun event.
So for people to tell you this, the email and address?
So if you want to notify us of an event, or if you want to be put on the email list, if you just go to georgetownfund.org, our email link is on there, but it's basically
Click on.
Yeah, and it's basically just sjones at georgetownfund.org. And the email list, it's only used twice a month for town events and things that are going on, announcements. There's nothing commercial about it. We don't sell it. We don't rent it. I've had a bunch of people who are like, oh, I'm running for selectman. I want to send out a piece to everybody with your email list. No, we don't do anything like that. It's not political. It's just the stuff that's going on, and a lot of people have given us their email for that. So I feel like that would be a betrayal of their trust to do that. So we don't do that at all.
Okay, now, so you do the photography.
Yep.
You DJ.
Yep.
And you just wrote a book.
I did.
And what is the book about?
I actually brought the book with me. I have it right here.
Okay.
The Georgetown.
The Georgetown book. Okay, that seems pretty basic.
Yeah. So, as you say, I'm an amateur photographer. It's been an interest of mine for a long time. And many years ago, I had some friends, some neighbors, and they were moving out of town. Well, they were friends too. And they asked me to go around and take pictures of their favorite places because they really loved Georgetown and they were really sad to be leaving, but it was a work thing. And so I went around and I took pictures of all their favorite places, and then I decided to sort of make a little book out of it. So I made a little book out of it and gave it to them. And different people who saw it were like, well, geez, that would be great for like a realtor to be able to show off information about our town, or different people who live in town would really like that. You should make a book like that. So I had that idea in my head, and this was like, I don't know, 6 or 8 years ago. But I didn't really know what I wanted to do with it. And then a couple of years ago, I was taking pictures for the PTA because they have this really cool Georgetownopoly game. It's a Monopoly game specific to Georgetown.
I'm on it.
Well,
Purple
yeah,
Dragon
that's
Arts is
right.
on
That's
it.
right. That's right. I remember that. And so I was going around taking pictures for them, and it just sort of popped into my head. It was like, wait a minute, this is what I want to do. And I had like the layout of the pages and what I wanted on the pages, and what I wanted to be in the book. And of course, it turned out that in spite of all the photographs I had, I needed a lot of photographs to do what I now visualized for the book. So I had a lot of picture taking to do and everything else. But that sort of was the idea. And the book kind of does three things. There's a lot of pictures in it. And it's printed in full color. It's on nice heavy stock. Somebody said, well, why don't you hardcover bind it? But it's just too expensive. But hopefully it's something that people will look at and find visually appealing, and maybe would put out on a coffee table or something like that. The second thing is there's a lot of information in the book, and some of this information is surprisingly difficult to get. Like there is a page on scouting, and it has who to contact if you want to get your child into Boy Scouts or Cub Scouts or Brownies or Girl Scouts. And you can't look that up in the phone book, and it's kind of hard to find. If you are a parent and you want to get your child into athletics, there's a table in there that lists every single sport that the GAA offers and that the middle high school offers with age, gender, is it co-ed? Is it a co-ed sport? Is it a girls sport, a boys sport? What time of year is it offered? And it has the information on how to contact them. So there's a lot of that kind of stuff in there, which is, again, harder to get than you might think. Mm. And then the other thing I tried to do was to kind of get little bits of information, sort of fun facts to put in there. And as you go through the book, there's little gray boxes that have sort of fun facts about town. Like I went to the post office and I asked them stuff like, how many pieces of mail do you deliver a day, and how many trucks, and all this kind of stuff. And it was kind of an interesting experience because the post office, I was kind of surprised. They were like, well, we can't tell you how many pieces of mail we deliver a day. It's like, that's actually proprietary. Because they don't want
federal.
Yeah, they don't want FedEx and UPS to know, what the competition is doing. But they some very nice people there, and they gave me a lot of really interesting information. And there's stuff about where our water comes from and how much water we use, and electricity, and facts about different buildings in town and things like that. So there's a lot of that kind of stuff in there as well.
Many, many years ago, about 38 years ago, I had an exchange student from Japan. And I went around town, and she had never been in the snow. I went around town in the winter and started photographing,
Yeah.
and sent her a little book so that she would know what the town that she was coming to looked like.
Yeah,
This
yeah,
would have
what
been
to expect.
perfect.
Yeah.
This would have been perfect. I now have her daughter here.
Oh, that's
She
incredible.
lives in Singapore. I have her daughter here at Northeastern,
Yeah.
and next year I get the other daughter.
Yeah.
So I'll have two. Now,
It's funny you talk about a snowstorm, because there are pictures on the back of this that I took in this blinding snowstorm. I went out and took them, and
oh yeah,
my wife actually berated me because it was a snow emergency and they were telling you to keep off the road, and I hopped into my four-wheel drive truck and went out and took pictures, and she said, "Oh, you're not supposed to be doing that. It's a snow emergency." But I had some of them on Facebook, and Filter Pony was like, "Oh, nice pictures." And I was like, "Well, he's a selectman, so it must be okay."
yeah. Can't get into too much trouble. It's
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Where can people find the book?
The Scala Arts Center sells the book. I also, when I work events, I typically have it with me as well.
Okay.
It's $15 for the book, and yeah, you can go into Scala Arts Center and get it.
And the proceeds go to paying your bills for all the stuff you do for free?
Well, that's the hope. I printed a bunch of them, and they are, because they're in full color, they're expensive to print.
Yeah.
And to date, the proceeds of the sales have not covered the cost of printing the book. If I actually make some money on it at some point, which I hope I do, yes, I DJ, as you said, I do the photography, I do sound for bands, I do some food stuff, and I have a lot of money invested in all this equipment. And what I think people don't recognize as well is not only do you buy the equipment, but every time you use it, something breaks, and then you have to fix it.
And you have to fix it.
And I've had, I was in an event one time, and a child ran into a column of speakers and knocked them over, and it snapped the speakers inside. So it was hundreds of dollars to repair the speakers. And I had an outdoor event where water was sucked into one of my amplifiers, and that had to be repaired. And
So
so,
a lot of what you do as a volunteer.
yeah.
You don't charge for it.
No, I mean,
A lot
there
of
are a few organizations where, they'll be like, if they have a fundraiser and they raise a lot of money, they'll give me $100 or $200 to help with some expenses and things. But no, it costs me money to do this. It's supposed to be a hobby. It's supposed to be fun, and a lot of times it's fun.
Yeah.
But it's also a lot of work, and so any proceeds from this will help pay for that and help pay for the website and those sort of things as well.
So what kind of things, without specific dates, what kind of things come up every year that you participate in?
Yeah, it's funny you say that, because someone was talking to me one time and they said, I moved into town, and I called over to the town hall and I said, is there a guide to Georgetown, and what's going on in town? What can I go to? And they were like, oh, there's nothing going on in town. And I was like,
okay, there's always something going on in town.
On any given month, we will have 20 or 30 listings of events. And so one of the things I try to do in this book is in each month I sort of have a major event that goes on in this month. And so as you go through these different things, usually around March you get like the baseball bash. Maybe in April, I think this year was the GEF Gala, which is this really nice dinner event. As you get into the summer, there's the free concert series down at American Legion Park, and you can go down there, and they have really wonderful bands. As you get into the fall, there's the GF has the Links for Learning. There's the Donahoe Road Race. The Donahoe Road Race, last year I think we had 800 people run, and there were at least another 800 people cheering them on. So 1,600 people is the biggest event in town, I think, by far. The Horribles Parade. I don't think there's actually going to be a Georgetown Days this year. It doesn't look like. There doesn't seem to be any interest in putting that on, but typically there's been Georgetown Days. There'll be either the PTA or the music parents do an auction every year, usually in early November. So there's a lot of different things that go on. And then
what about like dinners at the Erie Four and stuff? Those are in there too?
Yeah, absolutely. Erie Four has usually they have a couple of different dinners that they do. They have bingo over there. And then the schools do a lot of stuff too. The plays at the school, the first play I ever went to at the school, I was stunned. The sets, the costumes, the number of students participating, the quality, this huge pit orchestra in front of the stage playing along. And you look at the pit orchestra, there's students in it, there's The music director is in it. There are parents from town in it, and the friends of the music director that come in, and I mean the quality is just unbelievable. And I think, to me, so many towns now, they don't have any art and music programs anymore, and we have this amazing music and art program. I got to go as a chaperone with the middle school and the high school to Six Flags this year, and the chorus and the band both times took like first and second places against all the groups that they went up against. And just the quality of the programs that we have for the size school we have is just amazing.
I went to one of the school plays a few years. In fact, I went for many years, and we had some people that they deserve to be professionals.
Yeah.
And I know some of them have been going in that direction. So.
Well, Melissa Rue,
Right.
who was in
That's who I was.
a couple of years of plays, the band and chorus every 4 years goes down to Disney. And when she was down in Disney with the band and chorus, they had American Idol there. And she competed in American Idol and won the right to go to New York to continue to compete in American Idol. Now, this is several years ago. I don't know where that ultimately went, but I mean, that's the kind of talent that you see. I mean, there's some really incredibly talented students over there.
For a small school, for a small town.
It is a small school.
We do pretty well.
And when our band marched up Main Street in Disney, the number of people there supporting them too, from our town that went down there, and the chorus and everything, there were a couple other bands that day. Nobody else had that, and we're a small school.
Yeah.
So it really is a testament to the people in this town that they support it like that.
And they've been doing it for such a long time. My daughter was in the first year that they ever went down, when she was in high school.
Really? Wow.
And they had never gone down before.
Yeah.
And they had to send a tape, and they had to qualify
Yes.
to be able to do this. So it's not just that every band in the country can do this. They have to qualify.
Yeah, in fact, one of the things that's going on right now, they're supposed to go down again next year. And one of the things they're doing right now is they're trying to raise money for new uniforms. And there's some question as to if they don't get the new uniforms, they may not get to march down Main Street, because the old uniforms are just not usable anymore. And if you don't have
My
a
daughter wore those
look,
uniforms.
yeah.
Which was a long time ago.
They're I believe they're wool.
They are. They are
It's not
wool.
really ideal for Florida in April.
Yeah. So they have been around for quite a while.
Yeah. So that's, so anybody watching this, if you can help out with contributing to the uniforms, because they're doing a lot of things to try to raise money for that right now.
Yeah. And it's good for the kids to participate in things from their own town. Not a lot of kids get to do that.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing that they do that I think is really neat is they do Dancing with the Teachers every year.
I've always wanted to know when that was. It's in here.
It actually was about a month and a half ago. And well, so there are, there's like an event for every month in here, but not everything that goes on. But again, if you go to georgetownfund.org, they're all listed on the calendar page, and all those things will be up there. And the Dancing with the Teachers thing, to me, what's really neat is the kids get to go and see the teachers, not just standing there lecturing to them, but see them doing something different and see them as people. And the teachers get up with professional dancers. They pair each teacher with a professional dancer, and they compete for this trophy. Plus they put on, some group numbers with all of these teachers and stuff. And this year they also had children of the teachers and the staff, and really little kids do this itsy bitsy spider routine. And it's an amazing event. And the quality of it is really, really high. And it's a lot of fun. And the panel of judges is really funny and entertaining. And the auditorium was packed, and it was packed with students. And I mean, they were just going crazy the whole night. And I just think that's such a great thing, for the kids to see that, and for the teachers to put that kind of effort in, because it's a lot of work.
Oh, I can imagine.
They practice for a long time. I mean, they hotly contest this trophy.
They really want the trophy.
Yes.
So between the website and the book, people can generally find out what's going on. If not, the book may not have specific dates because it was printed one year, but you'll still know that it will still be ongoing. And then from the website, georgetownfund.org, they can find out everything that's going on.
Yeah.
And you've been the person that put all this together.
Yes. Well, the other thing in the book, we have a lot of really nice sort of hidden gems as a town. There's a lot of things that I think a lot of people may not know about, where you can go and do different things around town. We have Lufkin's Brook, which is right next to the VFW, has miles of hiking trails back there, and there's a map available of the trails. Crane Pond Wildlife Management Area, the Georgetown Raleigh Forest, Camp Dennison, you know, American Legion Park. You know, you can go to American Legion Park. We have a beach, we have a bandstand, there's fields, there's a tennis court.
Playground.
There's a playground, which they're, you know, actually working on rebuilding. You know, Camp Dennison, you can camp there, you can rent a lodge there for events. There's a boat ramp over next to what used to be the Rock Pond Restaurant, which is now the Par 97. All these things you can do for free in town. For such a small town, we have all these amazing resources, and that's one of the things I tried to highlight in there as well, is there's lots of pictures and where are these places and what can you do there kind of things in there as well.
Wow, thank you very much. Thank you for being with us.
Well, thank you for
really
having me.
appreciate it. This is a lot of things going on that even I didn't know about. We'll get them on the show.
Okay.
I'm
Great.
Beverly Enos. You're watching Spotlight Georgetown. Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. Don't forget to check out the website, georgetownfun.org. Bye for now.